Hello there friends and followers, and welcome to this P3D video. Today we are going to be flying the Boeing 787 service from Tallinn in Estonia to Chopin in Poland. Our approximate flight time today is 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we're going to be cruising at 38,000 feet. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to the overhead panel and turn on our battery and start the APU. And we're just going to wait for the APU to become available before we continue prepping the aircraft. The APU is now available, so let's head over here to the overhead panel and set things up. The emergency light is armed, flight deck door power is on, window heat is on. We're going to turn on the hydraulics and we're going to head over here. Everything looks good. Passenger signs to auto. We'll leave the fuel pumps alone for the moment, and we're going to put the packs on auto. I'm going to turn on the dome light because things tend to look a bit dark here in this 787. Okay, and let's check our fuel. The fuel looks good. Of course, I used the QualityWings dispatcher to enter all the fuel information. So we are actually now ready to start programming the FMC. We'll start here. Let me go ahead and set the IRSs. There we go, left and right. Okay. And we can go to position initialization. We are at Echo Tango November, which is Tallinn Airport. And we're just going to grab this GPS position, stick it here, and we're going to go to route. Now SimBrief, I use SimBrief to program the, plan the flight. So it has an option of downloading the flight plan for the QualityWings aircraft. So we're going to use that, and the flight plan is Echo Tango November to Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha, and we're going to stick that here and activate and execute. Our flight number actually is lot, let's see here, lot 142. Alright, and that is done, and what we can do is go to the departures. We're going to be departing runway 26 today through the Orta 1 Tango. Next page, Orta 1 Tango, that's the one here, and execute, and then we're going to head back to the index and select our arrival into Chopin, and it's going to be through the NEPO 4 November. Let's double check that. NEPO 4, yep, NEPO 4 November, and we're going to do an ILS runway 11 at Chopin through the Whiskey Alpha 412 transition, and we're going to execute that. And now our route is ready, so let's just make sure that there are no discontinuities, and there are none, so we are good here. Let's go to performance initialization. Reserves today is 4.4. Cruise altitude is 38,000 feet. Cost index is 40. And we are good. Execute. Thrust limit, we're going to derate. And takeoff, everything, let's set the trim. Here, let's check here. Trim is set, and our V speeds are now available. So our V2 is 142. So let's turn on the flight directors and set the speed to 142. And set the altitude to 38,000 feet, which is our final cruise altitude today. 30,000 feet is done, and we are pretty much ready to go. So let's switch this to checklist. Oxygen tested 100%, Flight instrument, heading, altimeter are checked. We need to set the parking brake,
We'd like to add our welcome aboard today's flight.
which is now
We're
set.
just finishing up our last minute paperwork, and once we've done that, we'll push back. We're estimating an on-time
Passenger
departure.
signs.
In the cabin today
Okay,
are some of
we'll
our
set that
finest
to
flight
on.
attendants who are there for your comfort, but most of all for your safety. So we ask that you give them undivided attention.
All right, it'll be a left seat takeoff.
Once again,
MCP
thanks for
set.
flying with us.
Takeoff speeds are
Sit
set.
back and
Sea-Doo
relax.
pre-flight
Check
completed.
on our progress.
Taxi
Once
and
we're
takeoff
RV
briefing
to sit.
completed.
Climbed initial altitude.
Right, let's turn on our beacon.
You'll fly the airplane out on the checklist and coordinate with the air traffic control company.
And let's turn on the window heat. We are now pretty much ready to start our engines, so let's head over here to the overhead panel, and beacon is on. Okay, so we're good to start our engines.
Okay, starting engines.
And with the Boeing 787, you don't have to start the engines one at a time. You can start them together. So let's go ahead and start both engines. Okay, we have a good start on both engines now. And let's see here. Before taxi, anti-ice fine. Recall checked. Auto brake to rejected takeoff. Flight controls are checked and ground equipment is clear, and we are now ready to taxi to the runway. What we're going to do, the runway is to our left, so we're going to just taxi straight out and make a left turn and head over to the runway. Runway turn-off lights are on and taxi lights are on, and that's all we need for now. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake and head over to the runway. Parking brake released. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look here. Before takeoff checklist, we need to set the flaps, flaps 5, so let's go ahead and set the flaps now. I really like the 787 by QualityWings. It is a fun aircraft to fly. Now, it is not exactly a study level simulation of the aircraft according to critics. Nonetheless, it is very enjoyable and quite representative of the 787. So if you want to get appreciation for what the 787 pilots do or see, then this is definitely a good representation of the aircraft. Quite fun to fly. One of the things I like about P3D is this aircraft, the 787, alongside the Majestic Dash 8 and the suite of aircraft from PMDG. We are now approaching the hold short point for runway 26, which is our departing runway today. All right, let's make a turn here, and we're going to make a final stop here and prep the aircraft for takeoff. All right, here we go. Let's make a final stop. And parking brake is set. Landing lights on. Runway turn-off lights are off. Taxi lights off. Strobes are on. We're going to arm the auto throttle. And we're pretty much ready to go now. Let's make sure there are no incoming aircraft. All is clear. Let's release the parking brake and let's go. Alright, we are lined up with the runway now. Let's give it some power. and Toga.
Check thrust.
Thrust set. 80 knots.
Checked.
A little bit of left rudder here to maintain the center line.
B1.
B1, rotate.
B2.
Gears going up.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Flaps 1. And flaps up. Right, here we go. L now. V now. And we can engage the autopilot now.
Autopilot on.
Autopilot in command.
With our flight underway, I'd like to once again welcome you aboard. I'd also like to offer a special welcome to our colleague from
Transition altitude at Tallinn is 5,000 feet.
Visit us at QualityWings.com. In just a few minutes, we will be beginning a complimentary meal, beverage
All right,
service.
transition altitude.
After takeoff
Barrel
checklist.
reference set to standard. Oh, the APU is still running. There we go. APU is off.
In-flight entertainment.
Okay, and we just passed 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and turn off our landing lights.
The use of approved portable
And everything else is looking good. Okay, so all is looking good now. I will check back with you guys as soon as we level off at our final cruise altitude of 38,000 feet. Enjoy the flight. Welcome back, folks. We are now cruising at our final cruise altitude of 38,000 feet. All is looking good for the remainder of our flight. The weather is quite pleasant at our destination in Chopin, Poland, about 22 Celsius. Surface winds are 4 degrees at 130 knots, and visibility is pretty good. So I don't anticipate any troubles throughout our flight. It should be a calm flight into Poland. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy the flight, and we'll check back with you about 30 nautical miles from the top of descent mark. Enjoy the flight. Welcome back, folks. We are approximately 16 nautical miles from the top of descent mark. Everything's looking good. Clear skies here as we approach Chopin in Poland. We are going to reset our MCP altitude to our platform altitude of 3,000 feet. According to the approach plate, 3,000 is set, and we're going to head over to performance here. The ILS frequency, we will note it, which is 109.9er, and we're going to select flaps 30 today. At 136 plus 5 knots, that would be 141 for our approach speed. We should begin our automatic descent to 3,000 momentarily. 39 minutes have elapsed. We have about, say 20, according to the flight plan, 35 minutes, but I did not start the clock exactly when we took off. It took me about 10 minutes to realize that the clock wasn't started. So I think we are pretty much on time there for our approach into Chopin.
To prepare for landing, it will be necessary to collect all service items, as well as...
As you can see, we have begun the automatic descent to 3,000. And it looks like we're going to need to use the speed brakes to maintain our VNAV speed. We continue our descent towards Chopin. We are out of 22.8 to 3,000, and all is looking good at the moment. We are about to enter the star for our approach. As you can see here, this is the transition into our star, and all is looking good at the moment. I think we need to extend the speed brakes a bit here to reduce our speed, and our altitude is okay. We're doing okay, I think, in terms of our descent. Yeah. Okay, let's go over the descent checklist. Recall is checked. Notes are checked. Auto brake. 2 is checked. Landing information has been entered, and approach brief is completed. We are ready for our approach now into Chopin. And if we extend the range here a bit, there we go. So this is what our approach looks like. We're going to come this way and then turn and come back to land. So we are looking good in terms of our altitude, our speed. Everything is looking fine and dandy. The transition altitude at Chopin is 6,500 feet, but since I got the alert, we went ahead and set the barrel reference to 2994. I've extended the speed brake so that we can reduce our speed to 240 knots, and we are now continuing our descent to 3,000 feet, which is our platform altitude. We can reduce our rate of descent now to about 500 feet per minute, and we are looking good. I'm going to release the speed brakes now, disarm the speed brakes, and all is looking good for our approach. As you can see, this is our path. So we're going to go here. That's exactly our star into Chopin. And then we're going to make a left turn, and then another left turn, and then approach the runway to land. We are approaching 10,000 feet now, and we will be turning on our landing lights momentarily. Alright, we are approaching 10,000 feet now, and we are going to go ahead and turn on our landing lights and runway turn-off lights as well. We are now making our final turn to intercept the localizer. The runway is right ahead, and we are just approaching our platform altitude of 3,000 feet. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to click on the approach button now, and that should align us with the runway. And let's see here. Checklist speed brake. Let's arm the speed brake. Oops. Speed brake is armed, and we are reducing now our speed. Actually, let me extend the speed brake because we're a bit too fast here. So I'm going to extend the speed brakes to reduce our speed. And we are going to set the speed now to 180 knots. So as you can see now, the airport is ahead of us. We're a bit too fast, but we should be able to reduce our speed. We are at our platform altitude now. We're going to be doing flaps 30, and our final approach speed is 141 knots. Alright, we're going to start extending flaps. Flaps 1 and flaps 5. Alright, I'm going to retract the speed brake now
Ladies and gentlemen,
and arm
in
it.
preparation for landing, please return all seat backs and tray tables to their upright and stowed position. Ensure all portable electronic devices are turned off and stow all carry-on items. Additionally, footrests and video monitors must be returned to their original position.
And of course, we're going to wait for the landing gear until the dots start moving. As you can see, it started moving now. And we're going to reduce our speed now to 165 knots. There we go, 165. And that's close enough. Let's lower the landing gear. Flaps 15, 160 knots.
Flight attendants, please be seated for arrival.
And let's go to 141, which is our final approach speed. Okay, flaps 20. And flaps 25. Flaps 30. Okay, at this point we're going to bring up the heads-up display. We are now ready to land.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist, speed brake is armed, landing gear is down, and flaps are down. Landing checklist is complete, and we are ready now to land. All right, 1,000 feet. Let's disengage the autopilot and auto throttle. And it's my airplane now. We're looking okay.
400. 300. Approaching minimums. Minimums. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And touchdown. Reversers. And welcome to Chopin in Poland, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And we're going to make
we will be
a
taxiing for the next few
left turn
minutes,
here.
so
We don't
please
need the
remain
heads-up
seated
display
with your
anymore.
seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign during the
All right, let's bring the aircraft to a complete stop here and take a look at our landing.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Our landing wasn't the perfect landing. It was a bit hard, but we made it safely here to Chopin, Poland. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.